Beer is big business. In Amarillo alone, consumers spend more than $500,000 a month on their beverage of choice. An overwhelming majority of that cash, of course, going to the big three, Bud, Coors, and Miller. But there's something brewing a little closer to home that's causing a craft beer run. Fox 14's A.D. Justice has the details.
You could call it a beer boom.
Hi, welcome to the Big Texan. Can I get you a handcrafted beer?
Tom Money at the Big Texan was the first to get brewing here in town. That was in June of 2011.
We just saw a niche and filled it. That's what I feel like all these little breweries are doing, is filling a niche and that's what makes it work. Everybody loves a little variety.
Beef and beer. 500,000 people grab a seat here every year. And while the hype still belongs to the 72 ounces, a 12-ounce pour is getting some attention too.
Amarillo is finally opening up their minds. A new generation came along and says we want variety, we want flavor in our beer, and we want to try new things all the time, whether it's unique foods or unique beers.
Long wooden spoon might be small, but the beer comes out of the tap the same way it does at the bigger breweries.
And you always got to taste your product. So,
Jared Reed has been brewing since '95.
yep, that's good.
He opened up the long wooden spoon 3 years ago using creativity and science. And thanks to technology, consumers are buying in.
When I'm out of town on business, I do a search for beers, and we try to hit the local breweries while we're around.
Rebecca Wilkins from Austin isn't alone.
It brings in a lot of tourists. Half of our customers are tourists, so it's a big industry.
An industry that's moving downtown thanks to 6-Car Pub and Brewery, which opened last year.
It's a good flight.
Beer.
Most of what I do is artfully clean. The fun part is getting to design and actually execute the brewing of the beer.
6-Car is not a one-trick pony. Customers pour in for more than just the goodness in the glass. They have a creative kitchen, which leads to collaboration, meaning the customer wins again.
The food is good and the beer is cold.
Can't have the gains without the grains. This is Pondicetta, the new kids on the block. Trevor Martin and Caleb West moved back to Amarillo for a little home brew.
Amarillo takes a cautious approach to many things, and I think a lot of people have been nervous that the craft beer industry was a fad and a passing trend. I think that all the data indicates that it's much more than that, and I think once we decide that we accept something, we embrace it.
Amarillo has just begun to tap into this trend, and the people indulging are as diverse as what's being served.
We've had, retired couples coming through on their vacations, or military people that are, in their 20s, and it's just a diverse group. It's not honed in on one specific group.
When it comes to this craft beer craze, all of the local brewers agree. We are just beginning to tap into the potential.
Our city is growing already, but like I mentioned, we've embraced craft beer here, and so we're behind the curve still. We're seeing a lot of new flavors. There's 4 breweries here in town that are making beer, and people are going to each and every brewery getting something different. So there's room for growth in our community, and I think we're going to see a lot of it. Cheers.
Now, according to the latest numbers from the Brewers Association, there are 251 craft breweries in the state. That puts Texas in the top 10 in the country. But if you look at breweries per capita, Texas is close to the bottom at 46th, meaning there is room for growth. And that's good news for the economy because Texas already sees a $4.5 billion economic impact thanks to craft beer. What's in a beer name? You can see how the guys from Pondicetta come up with their branding, and they also walk you through the brewing process. That story is over on our website, myhighplains.com.